Greetings, everybody. Welcome to ENC1102. My name is Jackie Pierce. I am your instructor for spring 2025. And I realized this morning that I did not post this particular video yesterday, and I don't know why. Monday just apparently got away from me in a way that I don't know how to describe, but let me assure you that most Mondays you will be able to view a video very much like this one. I like to call them my weekly walkthrough videos. And what I do is help all my online classes navigate what's happening during that week, what's due at the end of that week, et cetera, et cetera. So I highly encourage you to make it a point to view the weekly walkthrough videos early each week. And it will help you kind of smoothly get through everything that needs to be done to make you successful at our course. So I will always start with sharing the screen, and we'll take a look at the course in Canvas. So when you first log into Canvas, of course, you're going to be coming in here on the home page for our composition literature class. But the bulk of what happens in Canvas occurs in this link over here on the left called modules. Now, I will warn you that not all the modules are published yet. I'm still doing some tweaking. This particular class is a class that I've taught for many years. And then last semester, there were a couple of assignments at the end that I decided to get rid of. So I'm restructuring a little bit. And of course, that takes a little while to get everything built out in Canvas, but I will work on those as quickly as possible. Right now, you have access to weeks 1 and 2. So I will have the rest up as soon as possible. I always try to stay a little bit ahead so that if you want to look ahead and work ahead, you certainly can. On the plus side, even without the modules on the home page, one of the things that you'll find at the bottom of the page is the course calendar. This, of course, also appears in your concourse syllabus, which you are hopefully looking at early this week as well. But this will give you a layout for the entire course in terms of what's due when, what we're covering, that sort of thing. So, utilize this. I like to print it out for myself if I'm taking a class such as this, or sometimes I'll just jot down the due dates and things in my calendar ahead of time, but it will help you kind of plan out your semester. So keep that in mind as we go forward. The way that the calendar always works is that our course weeks begin on Mondays and end on Sundays, which is pretty common in fully online courses. So for most of the semester, things are due on Sunday night in Canvas, unless it's otherwise specified. And really, the only thing that is different is the final, because of course finals have to be graded before Sunday night. Otherwise, I will not have grades due on Monday. So, but we will have due dates assigned for everything in Canvas. It's pretty clear about when things are due. So anyway, so let's take a look at the modules. Before I do, though, let me just remind you over here of the other things. The concourse syllabus link is the syllabus for the course. You do want to explore that thoroughly here at the beginning of the semester, because it has everything in there that you need to know about how your grades are done and all that good stuff. I cannot click on it when I'm in the student view because it will not display. But if you have any questions or problems with it, please let me know. One of my other students in another course was having trouble accessing that this week. So I haven't heard from anybody in your course, so hopefully yours is fine. But I will double check and make sure. From my end, it looks like everything's published correctly, but I will double check if anybody's having problems. The next link is to the announcements. Now, you probably will not have to go to the announcements page because the recent announcements are always going to be at the top of the home page. So if you see a new announcement that has a green dot by it, you should click on it and go ahead and look at it. But you can always go to the announcements page and see all the announcements for the semester. They don't disappear once they're older. Only the top 3 or the newest 3 will be on the home page. So you do have a link to that, a link to the modules, of course, important, a link to the discussions, because you may want to utilize what's called the Q&A discussion board separately from the assignments that are due through the weeks. So I always like to have you have access to that discussion link. The grades, of course, is where you will check your own grades. And once we start getting grades back, I will go into that a little bit more with you, but that's where you can track your progress. And then finally, I want to point out that Office 365 is a helpful link. You are required to use official Microsoft Word format for your papers in this course. So if you have not started using Office 365, you should. Now, if you're on a Mac, I am, you can use Pages. You can also use Google Docs. You do need to save your items, though, as a Word document, which can be done in both of those. So, but may as well use Office 365 because it's free as a student. So no harm, no foul. All right, let's take a look at the modules page. So each week is going to be set up roughly the same way. You've got the overview and the learning materials. So the way to think of the learning materials is this is where you do your actual learning. So there will be reading assignments, there will be videos, there will be lecture videos, everything that you need to do during that week to successfully complete the assignments is going to be on the learning materials page. We call them pages in Canvas. It is extremely important that you do engage with all of the learning materials before trying to do the weekly assessments, the things that are due to be graded. You'll notice, of course, that the Getting to Know You discussion board, some of you have already started posting there, which is awesome. And the syllabus quiz are the 2 items that are due in week 1. So that due date, of course, is January 19th, which is Sunday night. In the upcoming week, same thing. You've got 2 assignments due. You'll notice that most of our assignments are not huge point value. I prefer to have a lot of smaller assignments because if one big assignment goes bad, it's really hard to recover from that. So you'll notice that we do have papers that are worth, a more substantial amount of points, but keep in mind that as you're going through the weeks, all that adds up. And the better you do on each of those individual things, of course, the better your grade will be overall. All right. So in the week 1 learning materials, let's go ahead and take a look at what that page looks like. They will always be similar to this. You will have an overview, which includes kind of what our objectives are for the week. And then you will have the actual learning materials. So this week, it's mostly about getting acquainted with the class, more so than other weeks. This is not as much of a, read an assignment and then read something and then do an assignment about it. But you do want to look through the syllabus. You want to look through the assignment guide, which is just a PDF handout that I created. I will note that, as I mentioned earlier, some of the things have been updated a little bit, but the assignment guide still gives you a really good view of what the various assignments are. So I think it's still helpful. I went ahead and put it in here, even though some of it has slightly changed point values and things like that. But anyway, you obviously want to review all the information that's on the homepage and, get used to the modules. I mentioned the Q&A discussion. There is a Q&A discussion board. It is public for the class. So if you have a question that you do not want the rest of the class to know, don't post it on the Q&A discussion board. Use the inbox link, which of course is over here on the far left side. Inbox is housed in Canvas, but it still sends to my email. It will also send to your email. But it's an internal system within Canvas that is considered quote unquote secure. So you're able to ask questions about individual grades and stuff like that. Q&A discussion is really for questions about doing the assignment or whatever, and anything that your fellow classmates might also have a question about. I also want to show you on the Q&A discussion, there is a button that says subscribe. Where'd it go? Oh my gosh, is there? There should be. There's not. That's weird. Sometimes Canvas does things that update things, and I don't always approve of it. But anyway, if you see a subscribe button, what that does is send it to your email. Send it anytime somebody posts something new. But it is a regular discussion board. It is not graded. But if you have a question about an assignment or the class in general, if you click reply, you can post by writing in the box and then clicking the reply button. So I don't know why there's no subscribe button. Interesting. Uh, so beyond that, we have a link to the help and support page that will kind of give you overviews of policies and tools relevant to Lake Sumter and your role as a student there. And also there's a link back to the announcements page because of these videos. So it's always a reminder that early in the week, part of your learning is viewing these weekly walkthrough videos as well. There is a lecture video this week. These lectures, by the way, I want to say in advance, these lectures are old, but the information hasn't changed. So I look very different. I was I was viewing some of them the other day and I was like, oh my gosh, that is a long time ago. But the information is still good. Occasionally I will redo one if need be, but for the most part, if the information hasn't changed, there's not much reason to start a whole new video. You also have some readings in our LibGuide, which is basically our textbook, but it is housed through the Lake Sumter Library and it is completely free to you. If you click on this link, it's going to take you to the page for our class. And one of the things that you should do this week is kind of just explore this information. I will tell you that the librarian that I work most closely with in this course is Nora Rackley. And so you can reach out to Nora if you have a question. And of course, we've got all kinds of other support systems like the Writing Center and things of that nature. But essentially, all of your reading assignments are going to come through this tool. Okay, so you do not have to buy a textbook, which is always a nice thing. You're going to want to look at the Getting Started and the MLA and APA basics. I've also got some links for you for things that are also through the library, like the Broward College's Pathfinder. It's a great resource for finding topics for papers. Our topics are going to be related to the literature you're reading, but I think it's a great website that you can link and keep in your kind of back pocket, because when you have papers to write for other classes, sometimes finding a topic is difficult. We also have a link to the one of the library databases, which is Opposing Viewpoints. You may have used that in ENC 1101. We don't use it as much in 1102 because we're not necessarily writing argumentative papers. However, it's also just a great database for thinking about topics and thinking about areas that you want to explore. So got it there. The Citation Center, there's a link to that. You do not have to purchase a guide for MLA formatting. That's what we're going to be using throughout the semester. But the Citation Center does have templates and information on how to cite your sources and format your papers. And then I've also got a link to the library's tutorials page. There's a lot of great stuff there for you to explore. Once you have done the learning, it will be time to earn your points. And there's a couple of ways that you can get back to those 2 assignments that you need to do for this week. One is to click next, and it's going to take you to the Getting to Know You discussion board. Personally, though, I tend to go back to the modules page because they're right there. And then I could do the syllabus quiz first if I wanted to. I don't have to do them in that order. Getting to Know You is a discussion board. Many of you have already been posting. It's awesome. Basically, you're just introducing yourself. It's pretty self-explanatory. And then the syllabus quiz is a quiz, but it is not meant to be a tricky quiz. You can stop and look things up and you can explore and all of that great stuff. But do take it. Both of those assignments need to be completed in order for you to meet the initial attendance requirement in 1102. So do Sunday night. And like I said, right now you only have week 2 to look ahead to, but you will have more than that in the not so distant future. But mostly I want to reach out in week 1 just to let you know that I am a real human and I am here to help you. So if you need anything, please let me know. You do have the ability to contact me anytime through inbox, and I am constantly on a computer, so I do answer those very quickly. In the syllabus, you also have my email and things of that nature, but Canvas inbox is probably the quickest way to get in touch with me. If you do have an emergency, I do give out my cell phone number. When you text me, though, I do ask that you give me your name and what class you're in. Otherwise, I will not know how to answer your questions. So take care. Have a great week 1, and I will see you next Monday for another weekly walkthrough.